Hello, 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 out there in the land of Facebook. Welcome to Live with Ms. Kier, brought to you in part by via the Small Business Network, episode number 287. My name is Ms. Kier, capital K, capital I, capital R, and tonight I have a very special guest. My guest is Tanea Jacob Robinson. So everybody out there, show your love for my guest this week, Tanea Jacob Robinson. Come on, clap it up, folks. Clap it up. Snap it up, snap it up, snap it up, snap it up. So, Tanea,
Yes,
how are you today?
I'm doing okay.
That's good. Good to hear. Tanea, can you introduce yourself to the folks out there in StreamYard land and Facebook land?
My name is Tanea. I'm 24 and I'm a small business owner.
All right, snap it up, folks, for Tanea. Small business owner. Okay, yeah, yeah. Okay, so Tanea, where were you born?
I was born in New Brunswick, New Jersey.
Okay, and where do you currently live?
I currently live in Highland Park, New Jersey.
Ah, solid. So, okay, folks, for those who don't know, Tanea is my daughter, my firstborn. So, show your love for my firstborn daughter, Tanea Jacob Robinson. The firstborn, aka T Noodle, the young retired poet with an old soul. So, Tanea, how long do you live in New Brunswick?
Can you repeat that question?
I said, how long have you lived in New Brunswick?
For 10 years.
10 years. Okay. What schools did you go to in New Brunswick and in Highland Park?
In New Brunswick, I went to um, Mount Zion. Well, it was called the Children's Center.
Yes.
And then for elementary and sixth grade, I went to GBCS, which is the Greater Brunswick Charter School.
Ah, I see. So Tanea, can you tell the people what life was like going to school in New Brunswick when you went to school in New Brunswick?
I mean, it was pretty chill for the most part, because I didn't go to like a regular public school, so I didn't really have the public school experience until I came to Highland Park. But yeah, it was okay. It was decent. I mean, there weren't that many students and there wasn't a lot of funding for the school, so I feel like we didn't have the opportunities that like many public schools have, but it was still an okay experience.
And what was your experience like going to Highland Park schools? And what schools did you go to when you were in Highland Park?
In Highland Park, I went to the middle school and the high school, and my experience going to Highland Park Middle School was pretty good for the most part. I had a solid friend group. Um, but I did prefer going to the high school because I don't know, I just felt like the atmosphere was better, but I definitely enjoyed my high school years more. Um, yeah, overall, I did enjoy my experiences at both the middle and the high school.
So tell us about your high school experiences, all the good times and fun times that you had.
In high school, I had a lot of good times with my friends. Like, we were always laughing. there was a lot of positivity whenever we were around. Like, we just, hold on.
There's a little pause for Tanea.
Yeah, there was a motorcycle passing by. But yeah, in high school, I had pretty good experiences. Mostly with friends, like just laughing, having a good time, um, being in after school activities, and just having a good time and like enjoying life. So those are some of the good experiences that I had in high school. Um, yeah, it mainly had to do with my friend group.
Can you tell us about your friend group?
So my friend group um, was basically myself and several others. So um, yeah, we had, there were a mixture of guys and girls in my friend group, and we all hung out together. Of course, there were like separate groups within the group, because we were such a large group. There were like, I don't know, maybe 10 of us all together. But yeah, we definitely had our little cliques within the group, but um, we all got along great. And, I still speak to most of them this day. Um, yeah.
Okay, cool. So, what was life like growing up in New Brunswick and in Highland Park?
Growing up in New Brunswick was interesting. I mean, I feel as if I was really young when I lived in New Brunswick, so most of my memories like revolve around my household and not so much the environment of New Brunswick. Like, I remember the stores, of course, restaurants, um, and things like that, neighbors, and people who I met in New Brunswick, but I don't really remember the feeling. I mean, in New Brunswick, I lived with my grandmother, and she lived in, a small apartment, and there were a lot of us, my uncle, and then at a certain point, my other grandma, my mom. And so, yeah, it was a bit crowded, but despite that, I feel like I was a bit shielded from everything that, happened um, in the area. So, yeah.
Can you tell us about both of your grandmothers, your paternal and maternal grandmothers?
Did you say tell them?
Yes, about what
So, so my paternal grandmother, Carrie, she was very, hmm, I'm trying to find the word to describe her. One
funny.
of a kind.
Yes,
Yeah, she was funny. She had a comedic side to her. Um, and she was the one who kind of like kept the family together. So she was like the center of the family and like basically the glue. Um, and she's the person that everybody came to, like whether they needed help or they just wanted to come to her. Like, she was like that person that everybody kind of knew and everybody went to. She got along with a lot of people. She did a lot to give back to her community. So yeah. um, Regarding my mom's mom, um, to
that was
describe
my fault.
to describe Gamma is to describe myself. I feel like we're very similar in a lot of areas, and we have a really strong connection. And yeah, I feel like, yeah, to describe Gamma is like to describe myself. Um, she's outgoing, but also cautious, and she can be brutally honest. And
Very stubborn.
what?
Very stubborn.
Yeah. Yeah.
That, that's the tourist in her. Yeah. Okay. So, tell us about your business that you have.
So, my business is basically I specialize in selling baby clothes and shoes, particularly premium brands such as Nike, Jordan, designer brands, Burberry. Um, the list goes on. Polo. Um, yeah, I have a wide assortment. I have shoes starting in size like zero, so crib shoes, going up to about a 12C. So that would mean about like a preschooler size. Um, and then regarding clothes, I have clothes starting from newborn up to 40. So yeah, I sell the shoes and clothes on various platforms such as Instagram. I do have a shoe page and Mercari, but Mercari has been very slow lately. I think it depends on like the time of year because typically I get more sales when income tax season comes around. That's when people are more inclined to buy. But yeah, sometimes you have droughts and sometimes you have just like a surge in sales. So, yeah.
Okay, Miss T Noodle. So, ask you, when did you decide to be an entrepreneur? Because I know when you were a young noodle, you had T Noodle Enterprises. So, you want to tell us about T Noodle Enterprises and then tell us about what made you want to be an entrepreneur in your adult life?
So, I don't know how the lemonade business started. Um, I just remember like the cart and then like having a pitcher of lemonade and then making it from scratch and then selling it like a small cup for 50 cents and a big cup for $1 and then like chasing potential customers. But yeah, that's the part that I remember and getting like a lot of money every time that I did it. And it also presented me with opportunities to meet people. But I don't want to speak on that because he's been acting a bit out of place lately. So I'm not proud to, speak on that. But yeah, it was a good start and it was like a good I guess you could say it was a good introduction into the business life because you have to like use the money that you make and buy it for use it towards supplies. Like you have to spend money to make money. So I guess like that was the lesson in it as well. um but yeah.
Uh, yes, I remember the days when you would chase some of the customers down the street for
Yeah.
your lemonade. We had two regular customers, Corey and I forgot the name of the other person. Um, I remember one time Corey was riding on the bus and it was the Rutgers bus because he was a college student and he saw you and when he saw you he got off the bus and he purchased lemonade. That was
Yeah.
cool. It's funny how like when you're young and you build customers, especially being as young as you were during doing the lemonade stand. That was really really good memories, good times. I uh, lemonade stand one time with your cousin. Can you tell us about that? Because that was funny.
I don't remember. Like, I don't remember.
You remember? Oh, well, I remember your cousin was over and we were doing your lemonade stand. And so she came with us and you gave her that pep talk about the customers, and it was so funny because you were like, no, some customers, they're going to say no, but there's going to be a lot that's going to say yes. And I was really impressed by the pep talk that you gave your cousin because you were so young and so driven. And for you to give her that pep talk, it was just so, it was just not just cute, but it was just touching as well. And you guys, both of you guys made quite a bit of money that day too. So when you got back, you were sitting counting your money. You remember that?
Yeah, and I also think that that can apply to my current business because like there will be people who will give you the runaround, and typically those are the people who don't buy. The people who ask 50 million questions, the people who ask for more pictures and this, that, and the third, and then they'll just not say anything. I find that the people who just buy right away, um, given with what they know, they'll just buy it right away. I feel like those are the customers that I value the most because they don't give me the runaround. Like it's just like okay, like I see what you're presenting to me, and I want it. And when it comes to time wasters, like the people who ask a billion questions and then after they get their answers, they never come back and say anything. They never do it. Not even like, oh, okay, thank you, I'll pass, or anything like that. They'll ask their billion questions and then that'll be it. So those are the people that I block because I don't have time for that. So yeah, when it just comes to it, like I don't worry about the people who waste time because that is such a small percentage of what my business makes up. Like I get more sales than I get time wasters, so I try to value the people who buy.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I agree totally and completely. Because yeah, there are some people who are quote unquote time wasters. So yeah, but I also remember when you were doing the lemonade stand, sometimes people wouldn't necessarily buy the lemonade. Sometimes you would get donations, and that would be cool too. Um, do you
Yeah,
those times when you would get like just donations?
yeah,
Yeah, that was cool too. Um, you made a pretty good amount of money doing that too. Um, how much
yeah.
would you say you made like in total for like um maybe because we did used to do it like weekly. So how much would you say you made each week?
I don't know about each week, but I remember like one day, maybe like over 70.
Yeah,
And that's a lot for a 7-year old, especially in those times, like in 2007, when, the value of a dollar was a little more. So, yeah, yeah, about like 75 a day.
that's that's pretty good. I
Yeah.
must. I remember the times too when you would use your money to get you pizza or mozzarella sticks at Filippo or Filipios, as your grandmother used to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So lemonade stand, that was good times. You even met Ryan McKnight too. Am I if I'm not
Yeah, let's not get into that because, yeah.
yeah, okay, we won't. Um but anyway, moving on. Um so can you tell us your best childhood nostalgic memories and how um, that itself with your hood and your things that you're doing now as an adult.
Can you repeat that last question?
I said, can you, what are the best childhood nostalgic memories that you have and that you can think about that was really great and in perspective of how your adult life is now?
So, childhood memory, I'd say a good one would probably be like my birthday party, where I had a birthday party at this restaurant and then afterwards went to the hotel. I think that was a good one because I was able to invite, a lot of my friends from school. I'd also say when I got my DS, the pink one, and then I got Nintendogs.
Yeah, I remember Nintendo.
Yeah, so that was a good memory. But I was always getting stuff. So I'd say that when I would get things like gifts.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Nintendo, I remember when your grandmother, Miss Carrie, when she gave me the money to get your Nintendogs, and he was working for Daniel at the Kidney Foundation. So she used to get like single dollar bills. And so this particular time she had given me money for you for your Nintendo, and she had gave me the stack of $1 bills. And so I took it to Walmart and I was at the register, and the cashier, when it was time to pay, I pulled out all these dollar bills, and the cashier was looking at me like, "Are you serious, lady?" And it was just like so funny because like they were all dollar bills, every bill, and I was just putting it down on the counter, and she was just looking at me like, "Really?" And it was just so funny every time I think about that, and how when she gave me money to get you things, I would get the dollar bills that she would get from Daniel from the Kidney Foundation. Do you have any other memories about your grandmother concerning the Kidney Foundation? Because I know I have a few.
Yeah, when um my cousins and I were at her house um and she had to go to work. She had a nurse come over and she was running late for work, like her ride was there, and she was yelling over and over like that she had to go to work.
Got to do it in her voice. Got to do it in her.
Mm-mm.
Oh, I remember that. Like, uh, okay, so T Noodle, get that name.
um I don't know.
Okay, T Noodle
You're
got
breaking up.
now.
It's like a little staticky.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, I was saying, um, you don't remember how you got the name T Noodle, Clutching Curls?
Well, my assumption is going to be that because I liked noodles and my name starts with a T.
Well, that's kind of sort of right. I did used to call you Noodle because you liked oodles of noodles. You got the T Noodle from ISIS because when we were giving each other names for our poetic, back when we used to write poetry, retired, so he gave you the name T Noodle. Now you remember?
No, I don't. I don't remember her giving me the name, but I remember the story.
Okay. Yeah, because she gave you the name T Noodle and she gave Grandma poetic. Yeah. Okay. So, um, T Noodles,
Yeah,
um, why did you retire from writing?
because it wasn't my thing. Like, I don't. I didn't find enjoyment in it. It became so it became so a part of my routine that I just grew tired of it.
Clutching, clutching pearls out there, folks. Clutching pearls. Um,
You're going in and out of it.
I said, who inspires you and why do they inspire you?
Who inspires me now?
Yes. And why?
Um, my inspiration is myself because nobody can drive you to do better than yourself. But there are people I don't really say that I look up to you, but there are people that I respect. But yeah, the only person I look up to is myself because I'm the only person who can set goals for myself and set the bar. Like I'm the only person that can set how high I want my bar to be. And I don't want to look at somebody else's success because I don't know what they did to get there. And yeah, so their success is for them and my success is for me. But like I said, there are people who I respect.
Dynamite. All right. Clap it up, folks. Clap it up. All right. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Um, what's it like being a big sister? Because I know when you were younger, you always wanted a sibling.
Yeah.
And when you finally got one, I remember you saying thank you. Tell me about life as a big sister.
Well, I think it applied more when I was younger. Um, like when he was a baby, I think it applied more then. Like I was really excited because I was the only child and everybody around me had a sibling. All of my cousins had each other and like, I come from a big family, so everybody around me had siblings. Everybody I knew had at least one sibling. And so I wanted a sibling because I was very lonely. And so, um, yeah, I wanted a sibling for the longest. And then I got one and I was very excited, very excited. But I think that by the time I got a sibling, I was kind of heading into like preteen territory. So I guess like the high of having a sibling kind of wore off. I think it would have been different if we were closer in age because there is like a very large age gap. And so by the time, my sibling was old enough, like I was already an adult. So there was not really like enough time to like establish a connection, in my opinion, like a solid connection because of the age gap. Like we're just really far apart in age. And so um yeah, I think that being a big being a big sister, it definitely helps you to become independent, um in a sense, and it helps you kind of in terms of like when you start your own family. I feel like it gives you a sense of motherhood. I feel like because when you are like a big sibling, um, you kind of are like the first person next to the parents. So I feel like it gives you, yeah, like a peek into like parenthood, motherhood, and I think it prepares you for that. Um, and yeah, I think it gives you a sense of responsibility, a sense of, you know, just a lot of things. And it kind of helps you gain firsthand knowledge of how to care for kids.
All right. Okay. Um, so, what are the goals for the next 2 to 5 years?
2 to 5 years.
Yes.
Kids, marriage, house.
Oh, awesome sauce.
and and kids, marriage, house, and launch of a bigger business.
Oh, well, dynamite.
But I probably don't want to buy, um probably start off in like something smaller and then work my way up to something bigger. So that, I guess that would be my 5-year goal regarding house and stuff. But yeah, definitely kids and marriage within the next 5.
And
Yeah.
business. Solid. Solid. Do you have any questions for me that you might want to ask?
Um, I guess, what is your favorite memory of me? Because you seem to remember a lot and I don't. I can't hear you.
I said one of my um, favorite memories was the time when you told me that I was pregnant and kept
I
saying
told you what?
that I was pregnant,
Oh, yeah.
and I kept saying no, I'm not, and you were very adamant about it. That was one. Let me see. Uh, Another one would be uh, when you and me and Gamma, I don't know if you remember, but we used to play open mic. That used to be a lot of fun. Uh, that is another memory I have. Um,
Well, yeah, I told you you were pregnant and I was right.
yeah, you was right. Okay, so you were right. All right. Uh, I have a lot of memories. Uh, Another memory would be um, when I took you to school with me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's another memory. Um, Also, when you were a baby, I used to take you to work with me sometimes, and everybody in the office, because I would let them know when I was bringing you, and then when you would come, they used to be like, "Oh, she's so cute! And look at those big cheeks!" And I was, um,
Say that last part again. It's going in and out a bit.
I said the lemonade stand.
Oh, lemonade stand.
Yeah, Um, that also was good times too. When we used to go there and see the break dancers and all the other different places. Those are my good memories that I have. So now, Tanea, how can people reach out to you if they want to purchase some clothing or footwear? How can they reach out?
Oh, if you want to purchase clothing or footwear for your children, then you can reach out to my sneaker page, ISO underscore closet, or Mercari. But on there, it's Gladys455. But I'm not really active on Instagram on that Instagram page, so you'll just have to send me a message because there are so many requests, people requesting to get in. There's probably like 300 requests, and I just get overwhelmed by that number, so I just choose to ignore it if I'm being honest. So yeah, just message me on there.
Hear that, folks? You can reach out to Tanea, aka T Noodle. Okay, well, Tanea, thank you for being on episode 7 by the Small Business Network. Shout outs to my fellow Small Business Network people, Dr. James McConnell, Sean A. White, Indigo, Brown, Gladys White, Roosevelt, can't think of your last name, sorry, and Cassandra Pickens. Thank you all. And thank you all, people, for taking the time out on this Friday night.
Okay, thank you for having me. Bye.
Bye. Love, peace, hair grease, and edges. Remember, edges matter, folks. They matter. They matter. All right. Next week, I have a special guest as well, but I'm not going to announce the guest because I find that it's better that I don't do that because when I do announce guests, yeah, so just tune in next week for my special guest. I'll be on next Saturday, not Friday. So yeah, this is Tanisha, aka Ms. Kier, MZ, capital K, capital I, capital R. And stay tuned also for the Writer's Block Poetry Collective presents Ms. Kier monthly live coming September. I don't know exactly when, but keep your calendars free. And if you haven't, also please like and follow the Writer's Block Poetry Collective, folks. The Writer's Block Poetry Collective on Facebook, and on Instagram, it's the WB Poetry, although I have not posted much on Instagram for the WB. But yeah, you can reach out there, the WB Poetry on Instagram. Also on Instagram, I'm Ms. Kier74. And on TikTok, I'm Ms. Kier74. And yeah, you can also join Tanisha, aka Ms. Kier, the Poetic Lyricist group page on Facebook as well. That'll give you updates about the Writer's Block, Poetry Collective, and all that good stuff. And again, thank you so much for tuning in. Wishing you all again love, peace, hair grease, and soul. This is episode number 287 of the Small Business Network. And I will talk to you later. Bye.